the reasons that I accepted the job here in Calgary was because how impressed I was with the music. I had very good music. I know, right. I had good music at my center where I came from in California, but I'm also a singer, I'm a musician, and I'm a minister, and I just could not see myself coming to a center that had mediocre music. It's too important to the Sunday experience. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And we're so blessed because we have a really deep well of really excellent musicians. If Michelle can't be here, we have somebody else filling in. Scott is filling in for Oliver today. I mean, we are so blessed to have this band. I say to people, come for the music, stay for the message. And so that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about today, and that is Song of the Spirit. Because the truth is, each one of us has a song that sings within us. Each one of us has a heart song that is absolutely uniquely ours. It's not like someone else's. Each one of us has this internal melody that is just singing, and it is always with us. And no, I'm not talking about the song worm that you wake up to and you go to sleep with. Right now, the one that's going through my mind, thank you very much, Joanne, is Pharrell Williams' Happy. You know, there could be worse song worms to go through your, but you know what, it's driving me a little crazy. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Song of the Spirit. I'm talking about that one that resonates so deeply within us, that reminds us that we are loved and we are cherished and we are valued beyond measure. That God song, I call it the God love song, that loves us exactly as we are, exactly as we are not, exactly as we are becoming. But the challenge is that even though we all have the song and we all have it, we don't always allow ourselves to hear it, and we don't always allow ourselves to sing it. You know what I'm talking about? So oftentimes we've got this, where that God love song is drowned out by a cacophony of negativity and untruths and nonsense. It's the voices of all those people, including the inner critic, that is telling us that we're not all that we are flawed, that we are somehow insignificant, that we are not worthy. But what if we could be reminded every day, that the truth of our being is that we are loved, that we are cherished, that we are valued beyond measure? How might our lives be different if we knew that truth, if we lived our life from that truth? How might the world be different if everyone was living that truth? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said this: if you would catch the vision of the joy which should be yours, you must dry your tears, you must lay aside your fears, you must think from the inspirational center within you, which is nothing less than the divine in you singing its song of life. I love that, the divine within you singing its song of life. There's a story by Alan Cohen. It was in one of his books, I don't remember which one it was, called A Child's Song, that illustrates his point. So I'm going to tell you part of the story now, and then I'll tell you the rest of it in a little bit. It says here, when a woman in a certain African tribe knows that she is pregnant, she goes out into the wilderness with a few friends, and together they pray and meditate until they hear the song of the unborn child. The women of this tribe recognize that every soul has its own vibration that expresses its unique flavor and purpose. When the women attune to the child's song, they sing it out loud. Then they return to the tribe and teach it to everyone else. When the child is born, The community gathers and sings the child's song to him or her. Later, when the child enters education, the village gathers and chants the child's song. When the child passes through the initiation into adulthood, the people come together again and sing the song. At the time of marriage, the person hears his or her song. And finally, when the soul is about to pass from this world, the family and friends gather at the person's bed, just as they did at their birth, and sing the person into the next life. I love that story. I love this idea of when the woman finds out that she's pregnant, she goes into the wilderness with her friends and they pray and they meditate. In other words, as soon as she is aware that she's about to bring a life into this world, she goes to her source. She prays and she meditates and the vision I have is that she flings herself open wide to the impress of spirit. She listens for the child's unique song, and she intuitively knows that just as she is hearing the child's song, that everyone has a song themselves. And she commits to honoring that song in the child, no matter what that song is. What would life be like? What would your life be like? What would my life be like if every parent knew to do this? And parents, please understand, we didn't know, right? So you're like, oh gosh, I wish I'd have done that. Well, you know what? We didn't know, right? But what if every parent went to the source, whatever that source is to them, and they opened themselves up to hear their child's song? What would their relationship with their child be like? How would it be enhanced? How would everyone's relationship with everyone be enhanced if we knew and sang our own heart song and we sang and knew other people's heart songs? Let me share another Holmes quote with you. He says, when love's activity is no longer confined to the littleness that restricts, but extends to everything and everyone, then shall we hear its song sung through the circuits of our lives. Everybody go like this. Do you feel it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Unfortunately, what happens is that oftentimes people don't understand what the child's song is, what they came in here to do. So they're trying to change the melody so that it reflects what it is that they do understand. I think that's why this topic spoke to me so personally when I first heard this song, because I was really quite different than the other members of my family. They were very scholarly, they were very practical, and they were quiet. And I was always me. Loud and dramatic, and I like to talk a lot, and believe it or not, I like being the center of attention. And my parents, these scholarly, quiet, my dad was a Marine officer, and he was a banker, and I come from doctors and school teachers, you know? And then, so my parents, as supportive and loving as they could be, they wanted me to be more like them. They wanted me to be a good student, and I wasn't. And they wanted me to study the practical stuff, and I'm off into drama and music, you know? They wanted me to behave a certain way, and I just didn't know how. They wanted me to be a productive member of society. And I am now. But I wasn't always. Maybe it was because my true heart song was not being valued. Then I got rebellious and I acted out and I made some really, really bad choices in my younger years. And I often wonder, when I'm thinking about this topic, I often wonder how my life would have been different if I had been encouraged to be myself, to pursue my dreams, to take my risks, to sing my song. Now, of course, my parents didn't do this on purpose. They were not negating me on purpose. They loved me, and they were supporting me the best way they knew how. And so I figured it out, is that I think it's because no one sang their song to them. And so they didn't know how to sing my song to me. So I ask again, how would life be different if that was really being encouraged, our heart song, that we were hearing that from birth? What if that divine expression that is unique to each of us was encouraged and acknowledged, if everybody was allowed, encouraged to do what they came here to do, to express spirit and spirit song uniquely. Is this speaking to anybody else, or is it just me? Yeah, me too. My sister Beth, whom some of you know, you've met her a few times, she's been up here, wrote a paper when she was in practitioner training. And I asked her permission to share it with you because I just think it's so lovely and illustrates this point. She wrote, "I love thinking that each one of us has our heart song playing out to others and to the earth. Each harmonic melody is individual and unique, yet contributes to the universal melody that is always playing and evolving, always being written anew. Sometimes our melody is in harmony with the rest, and sometimes it goes slightly off key and becomes slightly discordant. Yet it plays forth, slightly out of tune, and still weaves into the one song that is always present. When we view ourselves and each other as sacred members of the universal orchestra, there are no wrong notes, no silent voices or instruments, no mismatched melodies. It is all part of the one." Isn't that nice? Each of us, that unique song that's contributing to the divine knowing itself. If you are not singing your song, the divine is diminished by your not expressing it in the way that you know how. Each one of us is vitally important to the collective song, to the collective good. Now there's another part of the story about the African tribe, which I actually think is equally as important. In the African tribe, there is one other occasion upon which the villagers sing to the child. If at any time during his or her life, the person commits a crime or aberrant social act, the individual is called to the center of the village, and the people in the community form a circle around them. Then the villagers sing that person's song to them. The tribe recognizes that the correction for antisocial behavior is not punishment. It is love and the remembrance of identity. They believe that when you recognize your own song, you have no desire or need to do anything that would harm another. Are you getting this? Again, how would our society be enhanced? These are all rhetorical questions, I realize, but how would our society be enhanced if instead of punishing people for their mistakes, we simply reminded them of who they are? If we saw them from that perspective, we saw them as perfect and divine and whole as they really are, that truth of them. Now I realize that's hard when somebody is really behaving badly. But if we could change how we saw those people, if we could encourage them to sing their song, to drum their drum, to dance their dance, or if we could sing it to them until they remembered it themselves, I wonder if those people would continue to behave badly. Is this making sense? If we could see them the way they truly are, that spiritual truth about them, would they need to act out and behave badly? One more part of that story. You may not have grown up in an African tribe that sings your song to you at crucial life transitions. But life is always reminding you when you are in tune with yourself and when you are not. When you feel good, what you are doing matches your song. And when you feel awful, it doesn't. In the end, we shall all recognize our song and sing it well. I mean, that's pretty simple, right? If you feel good, you're singing your song. If you feel bad, you're out of alignment with your song. Simple? Yes? And I can attest to this. Let me tell you. So I was on this life path that was not serving me. It was not very positive. What was happening, though, that was my heart song was still calling to me. So after a while, thank you, God, I ended up listening to it. And here I am. Part of my job is to sing. Part of my job is to be loud and be expressive and tell stories. In other words, all those things in my youth that my parents considered to be kind of liabilities are actually the very things that help me to be good at what it is that I do. So I may not be singing my song on Broadway or a Hollywood Bowl or where at the Stampede grounds, but I'm singing. I'm singing it because I can't help myself. That's who I am. Loud and obnoxious. No, I'm just So I realize that, you know, this speaks to me, it speaks to other people who are performers, and I realize you may be thinking, but I don't want to be a performer, I don't want to be a minister, this is not, I don't like being the center of attention, and you know what, that's fine. That's fine. Not everybody wants to be the center of attention. That's my song. And yet each of you has a song. Each of you contributes your part. Each of you has your way that is expressing God and enhancing your life. And by enhancing your life, you are also enhancing the world. Do you really understand that? That when you are singing your song, whatever that looks like, you are enhancing the world. You're not taking away from it. You are enhancing it. And each of you has one. You may just not have allowed yourself to sing it. Or maybe no one has sung it to you. I also love this quote. A friend is someone who knows your song and sings it to you when you've forgotten it. A friend is someone who knows your song and sings it to you when you've forgotten it. You know, that's one of the reasons why we like coming to a place like this, right? Because we walk in the door and we are finding people who are willing to sing their song. They're singing their song and then they can recognize and see our song and they can sing our song to us. Or maybe, you know, I hear this almost every Sunday. Somebody walks in the doors and they say, oh my gosh, I'm home. That feeling of being home, that feeling of walking through the doors and feeling as if you found your people, you found your tribe, that's because you're beginning to recognize your song, or that people are singing your song to you. You're divine, you're wonderful, you're beautiful, you're deserving, you're worthy. Imagine that to someone who has never heard that before. Sometimes our inner critic is so loud, we're not able to hear our song. So that's why we come to places like this and hear things like this. Turn to somebody next to you and just say something good to them. You're fabulous, you're beautiful, you're wonderful. Please do it, indulge me. You're You're fabulous. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're worthy. You're a cutie pie. Honest, you're a cutie pie. Did you feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Did you feel that energy? Yeah. So I'm going to close with a video, a short little video that really sums up my talk so beautifully. I could have just shown it to you at the beginning and we'd have been out of here way on time in order to see the ball game, but you know what? I like to sing my spirit. Did I happen to mention I like to be in the center of attention? Okay, so I had to kind of do that. It's what I do, right? So this is just a cute little video. I thought you might enjoy it. And
I'm Sadie. I'll show you something. I draw pictures. Here's a good one. Another good one. But you know why I'm showing you these pictures? Because I'm trying to encourage you to do something you know you can do. Do something you want to do. Because you know what? You may not know who the heck I am. But you know, everybody's all connected. So when we're connected, it means we all believe in each other. And I believe that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and all the time. So do it.
Michelle, could you come up here and do a little noodling, and let's just do something to cement that in. So if you would, if you're comfortable, close your eyes. I love that little girl, Sadie. We're all connected, and I want to do something to encourage you. So do that thing. Or we think about that beautiful story about the African tribe, about the mother that goes to the source of her being to learn her child's song. And even though it may not be the mother's song, she recognizes it as the child's song. And she teaches it to others. And they sing it to the child. In times of transition, in times of joy, in times of sorrow, even in times of trouble. And so I invite you right now to allow your heart song, your song of the Spirit, to begin to play. Allow it to come bubbling up. And allow yourself to hear it. Truly hear it. And it may not sound like what Michelle is playing. It may not sound like what Amy is singing. It may not sound like anything that is recognizable. And yet we all have a song within us. That is the divine singing its song of life. And so what I know for each of us, as we go out into the world after our time together, as we do whatever it is we do today, whatever it is that we are doing this week, that we remember to sing our song, contribute to the greater good by adding our voice to the Universal Orchestra. And at the same time,